Mama Sajo, Warini Sanu Babolo, Abidjan, Catégorie, elle a tout pour être heureuse. C'est elle qui pleure nuit et jour, elle a tout, je vous dis tout, mais elle nous dit ne pas être heureuse. Avant pour l'argent ne fait pas toujours.
Good day, folks in television land. This is Ivoire TV show Africa Rendezvous. This is topical discussions today. My name is Al Jerome at Nestor's Cherry.
Merci donc, amis téléspectateurs, amis auditeurs, amis de tous les temps. Merci d'être avec nous aujourd'hui pour cette grande édition d'Ivoire TV show Africa Rendezvous Connection. Cette grande collaboration de Serge Nyawa et d'Al Jerome. Anastas Chedi voudra vous entretenir jusqu'à la fin de cette émission.
Today, on topical discussion, we will briefly talk about Africa and the current political crisis that is hitting the continent. Nigeria is suffering a major protest after they decided to lift subsidy of the oil. Now, Boko Haram is also terrorizing that country. Joseph Kabila won an election that many say was fraught with electoral malpractices as well as some deceptive techniques.
And don't forget about Liberia also.
In Liberia, President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf will be inaugurated for her second term. The main opposition party, the Congress for Democratic Change, is challenging the results of the election. They threaten to have their own inauguration on that day. Also in La Côte d'Ivoire, Abidjan, former President Laurent Gbagbo was smuggled out of the country and taken to The Hague, where he is expected to face war crimes. How was he taken out? Was that a presidential move? Was that a disrespect to the sovereignty of La Côte d'Ivoire? These and many topics today. My name is Al. Serge, welcome.
Thank you so much, Al Jerome. It's a big day for us, to discuss about what's going on in
Quickly,
Africa.
let's run to the Democratic Republic of Congo, where Catholic bishops are saying that the elections won by Joseph Kabila was not fair.
Actually, exactly today, in Africa, all election, is not fair. Look at
Why would you say all elections are not fair? That's not true.
It's not fair because, when we think about the West side, just, want to put one person on the power and they can control that person easily and to dig, with the wealth. Think about the world order. And this world order today, it just obliges you to say, okay, hey, if you don't want to work for us, we're going to bring somebody there. And easily, you win election or not, we take out, from that place.
But Serge, this whole idea of a new world order is a conspiracy theory that continues to linger around. Now, we have been specific.
You need to stop.
No.
Because,
there is not direct evidence that you can link to the situation. The case
always there's not evidence. There's no evidence. You're going to leave, with evidence,
But that is what we need. If you accuse somebody of not having an election that is fair, you must provide the evidence to point to that direction.
Look at the Republic Democratic of the Congo,
where
Joseph Kabila
he took over from his father.
He took over from his father, but at this moment he wasn't elected.
He was elected.
He wasn't elected.
Now the Catholic bishops are saying that the playing field was not level because there was a lot of, he terrorized his opposition. There were never enough time for them to campaign on radio and television as well as newspaper, and that he used the army and the police to brutalize the voting population.
Sometimes when we finish that election, there's some paper you need to sign.
Yeah.
The other paper was on the way, and they didn't care about this paper. They just give, declare Mr. Kabila as a president.
Yeah.
It's not fair. That's why there's a conflict in Africa today. If we cannot fix that conflict, we are going every time, to have a problem.
So despite all the call for a recount and the opposition, Joseph Kabila was still installed by the Supreme Court, and he's into power. That's how
they cannot do recount because he just talked to Supreme Court to declare him as president.
At least they should have exhausted the legal process, allow people to go to court.
Why he's scared?
And and that was too hasty. He took over from his father, who is known as a dictator.
It's not his father.
Yeah.
It's not his father. This is a
relative?
father-in-law. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
His mom was a mattress.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
his
you're
mom was
right.
mattress.
And not his father. Yeah. Okay.
He know that this coup has been provided by this man because before doing this coup he left.
So what is going to happen next? The Catholic bishops have already condemned the election results. Joseph Kabila has been sworn in. What is going to happen next? Turmoil?
They're going to let him be president until the term of his
well,
gonna be.
That's how rebellion starts, and already there's rebel in Congo, and with all these results that are supposed to bring the people together, if there cannot be reconciliation, there will be more trouble in the DRC.
That's why we call sometimes some people like Congolese people. If you are there, just come over in our studio, talk about what's going on in the country. Don't just stay there and be angry, and it's not fair.
That's right. If you want to air your view, if you're from the DRC and you're a citizen or from the DRC, you live in Minnesota, and you want us to talk about your country, you want to air out those things that you think are not right, whether the West is imposing their values and their culture and everything on you, and you want to speak about it, this is a democratic country, you can come and speak. It's free of charge. Just call 612-239-8051. My name is Al Jerome, or you can call search on
715-220-5763.
You can speak now or forever hold your peace. This is topic of discussion. When we be back, we're going to talk about Liberia. Don't go away. Topical discussions on Ivoire TV show Africa Rendezvous. I'm His Royal Highness Al Jerome and my man Serge Jean-Wa. We're visiting Liberia now, where plans are underway for the first female president of that continent, Iron Lady Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. She will be inaugurated for the second and she said her final term next week. All presidents from around the world are supposed to be gracing the occasion, but the main opposition party, the Congress for Democratic Change, the CDC, led by Winston Tupman and football legend George Weah, are saying that the results of the elections were fraught with malpractices and that she is not the president. They threaten to hold their own inauguration come inauguration day. Potential trouble.
Liberia's presidential runoff on November 8th was declared free and fair and transparent by international observers, despite previous claims of fraud in the first round made by one of the parties competing in the presidential race, leading to the call to boycott the polls. UN police and military were on hand to assist in creating a peaceful environment for Liberians to go to the polls on that day. UN personnel were on the ground and in the air. International observers from the Economic Community of West African states, who are tasked with monitoring the elections, noted that low voter turnout was troubling.
Low voter turnout characterized early voting, even though the crowd gradually improved during the course of the day. Despite these findings, voter turnout remained a concern. While it increased during the course of voting, it seems relatively low compared to the first round.
On polling day, the coordinator of the United Nations in Liberia, Ellen Margaret Law, visited polling stations in Monrovia and outlying areas. The UN envoy also visited the unmanned troops securing the perimeters of the offices of the Congress for Democratic Change, or CDC, where the day before there had been clashes between CDC supporters and Liberian law enforcement personnel. The SRSG met with a few of the supporters who were on the grounds and personally expressed their regrets for the loss of life and the injuries that had occurred the day before. She urged all to exercise maximum restraint and not resort to violence.
We're all very, very sorry for what happened yesterday. Make sure nothing else happened. And now you have to show maximum restraint even if you are sad and angry.
There is no doubt that November 7, 2011 incident in front of the CDC headquarters was unfortunate, as it was necessary to use force to bring the situation under control.
The party's candidate, former Justice Minister Winston Tubman, wants voters to boycott today's poll because he says Electoral Commission officials committed vote fraud in the first round, including stuffing ballot boxes and changing vote totals.
Calling it massive fraud may be an exaggerated way of talking, but we feel that what happened did not properly reflect protection of our interests, and we would like to see those interests respected.
Of the opposition Congress for Democratic Change Party clashed with Liberian riot police outside party headquarters as supporters demonstrated against today's poll. Liberia's emergency response unit stormed the party compound, firing tear gas and running battles with stone-throwing opponents of President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. At least one person was killed in the fighting, which shut down this Monrovia suburb as riot police arrested dozens of civilians. But when those government forces tried again to enter the party compound, they were stopped by United Nations peacekeepers, who secured the area and took up defensive positions against Liberian. President Sirleaf says Mr. Tubman's boycott is unconstitutional because it calls on Liberians to give up their right to vote. She says today's election is being held in accordance with the law and will move the country forward. Scott Stearns, VOA News, Monrovia.
What do you make of that?
When we was here and was talking about the Liberian prisoners, I told you that Ellen Johnson will take over, for this second term.
Yeah.
You told me, no.
Yeah, she promised she was never going to run for the second term.
Yeah.
But again, she came and said that is politics. The
that
people
was
asked her.
my vision, because you can follow, how the country is doing. And I know Salif again, Ellen Johnson has only one term. And one term is not enough. She's going to ask for a second term. And no matter Liberia wanting, she will get that place.
Yeah, she will get it. She already won the Nobel Peace Prize together with another lady, Bowie from Liberia. And she.
Do you think that there's peace in Liberia?
Well, there is relative peace in Liberia. People are not running helter-skelter.
No.
People are not seeking refuge anymore. Okay. We have United Nations peacekeepers on the ground.
Now, what was a shame for me, Tubman was was gone for second, the runoff.
Oh, Willivius Tubman? You talking about Charles? Oh, Winston Tubman.
Winston Tubman.
Yeah, after the first results, nobody won 50%. So it was neck to neck CDC and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
But he refused.
He refused. Yeah.
And as a political person, he should not refuse, because Liberian people spend their time to just go for election. But if we go for second runoff, he need to accept that. But he couldn't go.
How would he accept it if he think the process is not fair? Why would you want to go to a second round elections when
he didn't go. Now when Salif Johnson gonna finish, the year, the second term, and she cannot, because the Liberian constitution say you cannot run for third term.
After the third,
Yeah. Now Tubman gonna come back again, and he said he gonna take to Liberian people. Okay, I'm here. You're gonna elect me today. You think that this is the political person is fair?
Well, there's a couple of things that went into play. Firstly, if you think that the process is not fair, you owe it to yourself to challenge the process.
Yes.
Now, he complained he did not produce sufficient evidence to the Supreme Court to show. Yeah, Tubman. So there's one thing to accuse the Elections Commission. There's another thing to be able to prove that you were cheated. So they could not prove anything. They still refused to go to the second round. They called for power sharing, and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf refused. She's not going to go for power sharing. So, but the thing is, she went to a second round unopposed.
But do you think that she has no right to say that, because they talk about a second runoff and Tubman refused?
Yeah, but in my mind, what Ellen could have done was to put a halt to the process until the whole claims and charges.
Which process?
Stop the elections.
Election?
Yeah. Investigate the issues raised by the CDC, and if those issues were addressed, then go for the elections. But
you know that when sometimes everything is under the table, people refuse, to go straight.
Okay.
It's what's happened in Africa.
So the problem here now is that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has been recognized by the international community, although
Always,
the
international community.
yeah, and
always.
so once the international community recognizes you, it's trouble.
This is the goal.
There is
the
nothing
mission,
you can do.
Mission of the international community.
So she has the United Nations there maintaining the peace with all the soldiers, so you can't do anything.
What are you gonna do as a Liberian and you don't have a gun and you cannot protest? Whenever you protest, they're gonna tell you, hey, well, this is the person we put
And that's what
on
happened.
the power.
George Weah was supposed to travel to America. He was removed off the plane on the Delta plane in Ghana. The American government, for some reason, stopping George Weah from coming to this country because the CDC have threatened to demonstrate against the inauguration of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. So now you see America using her power now to clamp down on the people's right to dissent.
George was still in Liberia right now?
He's in Ghana. He's going to go to Liberia.
Okay.
That's according to what he said.
They want him
to be in Liberia.
Ignoration.
No, not for inauguration. The fact that they don't want him to come to America. The fact that they threatened to demonstrate. So America is now saying, you know what? Since
while
you want to cause
people
trouble,
are demonstrating other side, George Weah went to come over here.
George Weah wanted to come. He has his family here. He has a house in Florida.
Okay.
He wanted to come and visit and then go back.
And
That's
go
what
back.
he does.
Okay.
But because Big Brother Uncle Sam wants to show that, hey, we want Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
What are you going to do?
If you want to dissent against Sirleaf, you got to do that peacefully, not with violence. That is what America is saying.
If we African, we cannot sit down to just fix our conflict, it's going to turn on that way.
Well, that's it. So we hope that everything will be good. Ellen would, rule. There will not be bloodshed in that country. We hope there will be peace and reconciliation in Liberia. But hey, from what I see, it is so far away. That country sits on a time bomb. The only thing that protects that country right now is the presence of all male soldiers and the peacekeepers. I am so afraid when they are not around, something is bound to happen. Liberia needs to really go down to the bottom and really reconcile with one another.
And Tubman, where he is now?
Winston Tubman, he's in Liberia.
He's in Liberia. What did he say?
He has not recognized the government of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. He's said that they are not going to be violent. They're going to peacefully protest against her leadership. They consider her as an illegitimate president who
by international community recognized her.
International community recognized her. CDC was supposed to provide evidence that they were cheated. They could not provide evidence.
Okay,
so
let's move on.
That does it for Liberia.
Let's
this is topic of discussion. When we get back, we'll be talking about La Côte d'Ivoire, and we'll be wrapping up. Stay tuned. This is Ivoire TV show now. We in Abidjan, La Côte d'Ivoire, where President Laurent Gbagbo, former President Laurent Gbagbo, is now transferred to The Hague, where he is sitting with his colleague and friend Charles Taylor. He is supposed to face the War Crimes Tribunal.
The way they treat Laurent Gbagbo, take him from Ivory Coast, not tell him that, we are bringing you to just, take him like a kid or a dog, put him in an airplane, and straight Abidjan, and he asks, where am I going? If you show me this paper that, this is my warrant.
My arrest, the charges against me, I can find my lawyer and all that.
Yeah, and he didn't eat anything, from like 10 a.m. to like, 5 p.m., and they...
No, you can't treat people like, how you know he didn't eat?
No, it's what he said.
Oh, he said he did not eat, so he was just rushed out of the country like a...
Yeah,
they treat him like a criminal,
and they send him to Abidjan.
He's a former president that demands some respect, though.
Yeah.
You can't just treat a former president like that. I mean, if you want to try him, that's good. If you can try him in Abidjan, where he's from, you want to bring him to the International War Crimes Tribunal. At least there's some respect and courtesy. You don't just treat another former president.
And this is the way they just send me in that place. They say, where are we going? And for the first, when they call him, to the justice, he tell that the way he was treating, he couldn't like it. They should tell him exactly, we are bringing you this place.
Yes, so
he couldn't like it.
So well, he's in The Hague right now. He will fit. They will give him a formal charge sheet where they will tell him all the crimes he committed. That is going to happen. He has that already. If he can find a lawyer, they will provide him a lawyer.
No, he got more lawyers. He got more lawyers. But what I'm wondering is, the white lawyer he has, this is the guy which has been recognized as a Sarkozy friend. And you know that all this kind of
was a whole French mastermind.
Yes, and I don't know what the Sarkozy is trying to show us.
But the Laurent Gbagbo has the right to refuse that lawyer.
Laurent Gbagbo is the one who chose this lawyer, and we are telling him that
don't choose him because he's for Sarkozy.
Yes, because we don't want to go through trouble again.
Yeah,
but we still waiting.
So why did Laurent Gbagbo choose a lawyer who is against his interest?
It might be a political
technique to show.
Because how many people here they got a black man.
Why would you want to gamble? Why would you want to gamble like that? You know the man is not in your camp.
This is what he chose, but actually he's gonna make up his mind later on and say, hey, this is the people, because the lawyer work with most of people, in that group.
Okay.
He's not himself. He's gonna spend all his time to talk.
Okay.
If the other people does not agree, what they're gonna do? Okay. They're gonna just
so
respond.
What's happening in Abidjan right now? Alassane Ouattara is the president. Everything is okay.
Alassane Ouattara is the president, but everything is not okay because this is the man. He cannot rule Ivory Coast right now. He has a problem because the rebels still killing people in Diopé.
They're still killing people.
Oh yes.
Pendant plus d'une heure, les forces nouvelles d'Alassane Ouattara et la garde républicaine de Laurent Gbagbo se sont affrontées. Ces images ont été tournées par des partisans, des tirs à l'arme lourde, un combat de rue pour prendre un barrage et grignoter quelques centaines de mètres. Tout près, le quartier général d'Alassane Ouattara, l'hôtel du Golfe, où il tente de gouverner avec des moyens dérisoires. Depuis le matin, ils sont plusieurs centaines, impatients à attendre Guillaume Soro, son Premier ministre. Objectif, marcher vers la télévision ivoirienne. Le mot d'ordre a été lancé il y a 2 jours. Les policiers et militaires acquis à Laurent Gbagbo ont quadrillé la ville. Dans les quartiers populaires, le moindre rassemblement a été dispersé par la force. Déjà une dizaine de morts selon les témoins, beaucoup plus selon l'opposition, sans compter de nombreux blessés et des arrestations. Dans l'après-midi, la tension retombe dans la capitale. Un répit pour quelques heures peut-être. Ce soir, Abidjan retient son souffle alors qu'Alassane Ouattara a renouvelé son appel. Pour demain, il demande à la rue de marcher vers le siège du Premier ministre, dans une ville où les habitants terrorisés ont vu de près aujourd'hui la menace du...
But now you know the United Nations said that even Alassane Ouattara forces as well as Gbagbo forces will be investigated.
Yes, it's what they said.
If that's fair, right?
If that's fair. And if they want to do that, the African crisis, Ivory Coast crisis started since 2002. And that day, this is where Mr. Alassane Ouattara bring, all these rebels to fight. Gbagbo apologize whatever they have done.
Okay.
But today, this is international justice. They need to investigate the beginning
2002?
2002 to 2010.
Okay, but that's what you're suggesting. Is that what they're going to do?
Yeah, but no, the woman Fatou Bensouda want to bring the justice, the way it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Because the international court is not a justice, it's a politic.
So currently, the forces of Alassane Ouattara, who is the current president of La Côte d'Ivoire, are still terrorizing peaceful citizens in the south where Gbagbo is from.
Yes, because people, even the rebel, he can't disarm all rebel. And the UNN has been complaining. And the people are there, every day they kill people. And the people ask, okay, we help you to get this power.
Yeah.
Okay, we need our money. He cannot pay people.
He can pay the mercenaries.
He can pay them.
But Africa is rich with cocoa and all that. So why?
Not only cocoa.
You got oil?
Oil.
And I think that's why the West, America and Great Britain and France are struggling for your oil, and that's why they sponsor that revolution.
You know what's happened?
Yeah, that's why you're accusing America
yes,
and
because
France of...
Hillary Clinton is going to Africa now. Everything is okay now. What she's going to.
So we continue to see the meddling of the West into Africa's affairs. But if Africans cannot handle their own affairs, the West will be forced to meddle. And now, if there is trouble in Ivory Coast, the only person that you run to is the West. They will have to provide food, provide aid. So if you're not doing the right thing, the West, I think, in my opinion, have the right to step in. But everybody have their own interest.
And
so they go there for the oil.
You know what's happened? All the company from Ivory Coast, Alassane Ouattara give all this company to French people. And this is not Alassane Ouattara who decide for Ivory Coast. This is the French people who decide from Ivory Coast. And I need to brought this one out for the world to understand it.
Yeah, but that's an accusation you're making, though.
This is not accusation. This is something visible. It's something visible.
Okay.
It's not accusation.
Okay.
If you read the news, you will know exactly what I'm saying.
So what we're saying is that France has a very good interest in economic interest in Ivory Coast.
Yes.
More than that, there is a political tie between France and Ivory Coast. That was your old colonial power.
Yes.
They still think that they still want to control you one way or the other. Plus,
50 years
they want to extract your resources. So in order to do that, they want to plant a political puppet as a president who they can control so that they can get all the companies to work in their interest.
Of course.
So now how does America fit in? Is America and France working together?
They fit in under. Everything goes, because everything is on Sarkozy. And Sarkozy is going to do the dispatching now for those who help them,
to fight the war.
To fight the war.
To reward them
with
the wealth of La Côte d'Ivoire.
Yeah. If the President Obama stay there and they say, I recognize Alassane Ouattara as Ivory Coast president, and Gbagbo needs to step down, brother and ladies and gentlemen, go to understand something inside.
If you're from La Côte d'Ivoire, you want to air your opinion on the matter we're discussing, just give us a call. The number's on the screen. Just call us. It's free of charge. It's called Topic of Discussions, and we will discuss it now. Don't mind. We are only discussing as we've read and the political variables that do exist as we see them. So you might have an opinion that you want to share. It's free. This is a free country. Give us a call. We'll invite you, and we'll talk about La Côte d'Ivoire. So right now, we have Charles Taylor, who is waiting his verdict. He's from Liberia. He's now there for war crimes.
What's going on with the Charles Taylor now?
There is not a decision yet.
See, this is the way they are doing.
I don't know.
They maintain you in that place.
Until you get sick and you die.
You get sick, you lose all your mind, and after that, they're going to
psychologically
judge you
they mess with you.
And just set you free.
Yeah.
This is why this international court has been made only for African people.
Not only Africa, we got people from Panama and other countries.
Yes, but it's only African people. They are jailing.
Yeah, the most corrupt people. The most
corrupt people. No, I told you about the new world order.
That's concerned.
This is Sarkozy and Obama who decide today.
Yeah, before Obama came, who was it? So, the new world order is going to have a head any point in time. So, if the new world order is to dominate politically and culturally all other countries that are third world or suffering countries, that is going to happen if Africa cannot come together. You're right, in Africa, you cannot even form a government. You don't even have a single currency. Everybody is greedy. Unless Africans begin to recognize and come together as one to fight against people that try to divide you, there's always going to be a problem. Now, remember, the power of the colonialist is divide and rule. They're going to make sure that the house does not hold together. And once you don't hold together, they can come in, they can step in, they can control everything. So the problem for Africa is Africa. The problem with Africa is Africa until African leaders can begin to realize and put the country first and the people first, the West will continue to tear us apart and exploit us.
It's a water, like if they can go back to that procedure, it's going to be good for all African people, because you cannot take, the power, and, the people are going to still struggling, they don't eat, they don't have money, and right now, you know what's happening in Africa? All in the Alassane Dramane Ouattara government, they are just putting away Babo people. Even if you are qualified, they just put them
That's
out.
Political cronyism is developing now, so they're trying to bring
and
their own party members.
all Mandingo on tab.
Yeah.
It's what Babo.
Yeah, when Babo was in power, there was no Mandingo man in power.
No.
You have Babo people in power. Now the Mandingo people in power. Now
let me tell you that I'm from Ivory Coast.
Yes.
I know the story.
Okay.
If you take Babo power, you
Yeah.
will know that most of Mandingo are in the government.
Okay.
Babo didn't take it, even if people from his place, Ganoa, where I'm from.
Yeah.
He just put them away.
So why did the rebels
Because
fight against?
Babo take you when you got a credential, you got the knowledge. Because with Babo, you cannot nominate a rebel as a minister. What is he gonna do? Did you go to school?
What happened if the rebel is qualified?
They are qualified where?
Most of them are not qualified. That's what you say.
They are not
They're
qualified.
just soldiers.
Even a Sorogium,
Yeah.
what did he get as
He's
diploma?
the prime minister.
Yeah, but because there was a crisis,
So
Babo say let's put Sorogium there, and he's gonna resolve that problem.
Oh, so Babo decided to put Sorogium as a prime minister when Sorogium does not have a high school diploma.
Because Sorogium has a high school
So
diploma.
that's all he got, high school diploma.
He got a kind of
University?
BSc, 2 years, university. That's it. All African was coming now
There
because
was a crisis and
just
wanted
to
peace.
resolve that problem.
Yeah.
But what they can't resolve that problem. Babo said, let's put Sorogium there, sign the contract with him, and they're gonna resolve the problem.
Enough for Ivory Coast now.
Yeah.
Folks in television land, he's from La Côte d'Ivoire. That would be doing it for topical discussions. Let's talk about the Dime Church. Right? What's happening to the church?
Sometimes people say, oh, dime is not, people force people to do
What is dime?
10% of whatever you get.
10% of your
paycheck,
of your income, you
of
give it to the
income,
church
paycheck.
every time.
Yeah,
Because the Bible says you have to pay. That is
Yeah.
that called tithe?
Tithe, yeah.
You got to pay your tithe, 10% to the church.
Yes. Old Testament. Believe that. But the New Testament, they say you don't need to force somebody to give that money. But if you give the money, you need to give it carefully, and you need to make sure that you are happy for whatever you give, because God somebody
A cheerful giver. So are you saying the New Testament that does not say how much you really have to? Does the New Testament say 10% too?
No,
It just say be a cheerful giver and give anything you want to give.
Yes.
Are you sure?
If there's a pastor somewhere,
help us discuss this thing. Give 10% of your salary to the church to keep up God's work. Is that found in the New Testament?
Yeah. And what you're going to do is just go to all the churches in Minnesota, find a way which kind of pastor is just preaching, the word of God.
Yeah. And most pastors now are just preaching prosperity.
Because the people are talking about, churches and business.
10%.
You get most of the churches here, they are praying.
Some churches have 3 offerings of a church. First offering, second offering, then offering for the building, then offering for the food. Everything is they're offering for the visiting pastor. The church has become so much so that it's all about money. It's all about money. And until the true Christians can step up to the pulpit and say, hey, this is not about money. It's about reviving the soul. It's about renewing the mind and making the mind to wholesomely contribute to the essence of God.
We just want
to. 10% tithe, 10% tithe. That's the message held through. It's not going to augur well for us.
Yeah. It's not something, I just break out like this. It's something I saw on internet, online.
And so, folks, that would do it for topical discussions. Thanks ever so much for watching us today. Give us a call, 612-239-8051.
Merci donc à Al-Jérôme Tchedi. Mesdames et messieurs, nous étions en train de discuter aujourd'hui de la politique africaine, une politique qui ne fait pas son va-tout. Nous avons discuté du Libéria, nous avons discuté de la République démocratique du Congo, nous avons discuté aussi de la Côte d'Ivoire. Et voyez-vous que l'ordre mondial a été mis en place pour intimider l'Afrique. Tant que les Africains n'ont jamais eu le temps de s'asseoir et discuter possiblement de leurs problèmes, je crois que les conflits existeront jusqu'à n'importe quel moment. Et aujourd'hui, avec l'arrivée du président Laurent Gbagbo à La Haye, vous allez voir exactement que l'ordre mondial va totalement voir que cette présence de Laurent Gbagbo n'est pas une petite présence parce que Dieu est en train de travailler. Toute la vérité va sortir pour savoir si M. Alassane Dramane Ouattara est dans le coup ou bien Gbagbo Laurent dans le coup. Nous avons discuté de Libéria, où aujourd'hui il y a encore une crise, mais pour celui, Tubman, il a dit que je ne reconnais pas l'élève d'Al-Salim Johnson comme président. Et aujourd'hui, George Weah a été arrêté au Ghana pour ne pas arriver ici. Il faudrait qu'il retourne là-bas au Libéria. D'abord régler les conflits avant qu'il ne voyait, parce qu'il a sa famille en Floride. Donc, c'est de ce que nous étions en train de parler avec mon collègue Jérôme Anassat Tchedi. Merci de votre fidélité. Excellente soirée à vous. On vous retrouve la semaine prochaine pour encore d'autres enchaînements.
God bless you, man. We're out. Peace.
Thank you, yeah.
Pascal Afin-Guesson, docteur Malik. Gbagbo est le cheval blanc gagnant partout dans le pays. Tout le monde, pendant les élections, là, nous avons élu qui veut voir. Moi j'ai voté Gbagbo. Nous avons voté Gbagbo. Le pays a voté Gbagbo. En Côte d'Ivoire, nous avons voté Gbagbo. Le pays a élu Gbagbo. Gbagbo est président. Pourquoi nous avons élu Gbagbo? Moi je veux vous le dire. Au commencement, c'était un coup d'État. Coup d'État a échoué. Devenu rébellion. Le pays est divisé au rang de Ivoirien devenir réfugié dans son pays. Gbagbo a abandonné de Lomé pour trouver solution. Il y a eu Accra 1, Accra 2, ça n'a rien donné. Parce qu'il y en a marre dedans. Pour trouver solution, ils sont allés à Pretoria, chez Thabo Mbeki, ça n'a rien donné. Parce qu'il y en a marre dedans. Ils sont allés à Makoudi pour trouver une solution. Évidemment, cela n'a rien donné. Parce qu'il y en a marre dedans. Marcel Gossiou, toujours fidèle. Comme Dieu, la Côte d'Ivoire. Comme Dieu, la Côte d'Ivoire. Simon est Yves Gbagbo, et le jour de Dieu arriva. Il envoyait son fils unique, Jésus-Christ de Nazareth, pour inspirer le Gbagbo. Il a imaginé, conçu et proposé une main de paix, acceptée par tous pour le bien-être de son peuple et la stabilité de la sous-région. Qui l'aurait fait si ce n'est pas le président Laurent Gbagbo? Trahison, aucun désarmement. Conception divine, il y a eu élection. C'est pourquoi le peuple de Côte d'Ivoire, unis tous derrière son président, crie et criera toujours victoire. Debout nos institutions. Bravo. Bravo. Nous sommes pour le développement. Bravo. Laurent, Oudi, le sauveur.
Nous sommes pour l'indépendance économique.
Jeunesse ivoirienne, seul Laurent Gbagbo a un plan pour toi. Assure ton avenir avec Laurent Gbagbo, le midi du maman, l'assureur numéro 1. Aboaké,
We're going through Cameroon and to visit all the cultural groups and the different music we have in Cameroon. So ladies and gentlemen, Bafoussam, hands up. Anybody from Bafoussam, hands up. Bafoussam, when at the house, hands up Bafoussam.
Illusion,